about everything. Yeah, like Matt Damon in a play in the movie. That was funny. Not worth talking about it, though ironically I just did. But I'll kind of go through some of the things that happened that I couldn't talk about in my spoiler-free review. I'm gonna talk about my thoughts on them, basic spoiler talk stuff. So Ragnarok starts out and Thor is tied up he's ultimately imprisoned in a big bird cage. Then he talks to Mr. Skull-horned evil lava man, who's going to be the harbinger of Ragnarok. And from this dialogue, you're like, yeah, this is a comedy. The chain's just kind of spinning how chains do. And when Thor's back, so the guy's like, all right, hold on, one second. Here I come, I'm coming around. I'm not even doing it. It's just turning. Point is, in a great action scene, a great bit of dialogue, he takes that dude out and gets back to Asgard, where we see Odin watching a play of the death of Loki, which you know from the end of Thor the Dark World, Odin is actually Loki. So Thor gets back and you can tell he's like, that's not dad. He realizes it's Loki, so in order to call him out, he throws Mjolnir and then he holds Odin's head. Pretty much like, all right, this is gonna crush your face when it comes back to my hand, brother. Loki yields, reveals that he's not actually Odin, he's Loki. Thor thought Loki was dead, so his natural thought was like, oh, that's gotta be Loki. That's quite a leap. Granted, he was right, but what if he wasn't right? There are 100 other things that could have been going on other than Loki not being dead. What if Loki put a hex on Odin at one point that was like, you're gonna just act like an asshole. You're gonna be an absentee landlord to the 9 realms. He's like, I'm Odin, splat. Oh, oops. I guess he was him. You're gonna get a better send-off than my friends are gonna get in this movie, I can tell you that. Seriously, I'm kind of jumping around a bit, but when Hela springs onto the scene in Asgard, Thor's warrior friends from the other 2 movies, dead. I guess they're dead now. Kind of a bummer. Wash and Boba Fett are both like, yeah, that sucks. I know, Boba Fett's alive, whatever. But I love Doctor Strange in the movie. This dude has mastered it. He keeps teleporting and Thor's like, can you please stop that? He's spilling his beer. He immediately takes Loki out. It's like, well, he's on a portal. Which is like, oh yeah, your brother. And Loki just drops on the ground. He's like, I've been falling for 30 minutes. You get an achievement in portal for less. So Thor finds out where Odin is. Odin has a speech with his kids and then he dies. Unleashing Hela. Gotta address this. What was the point of all of that? In the end of Thor the Dark World, it's like, ooh, Odin is missing. Loki is Odin's crazy. What's Thor 3 gonna have? Loki's gonna be Odin for the beginning, gonna get called out. That's gonna end. They're gonna find Odin. Odin gives one speech. That's gonna end. What's the point of it? Why were we in suspense at all? That kind of bummed me out where we've reached the point where it's like the post-credit scenes don't actually offer anything in the way of like, oh my gosh. It may seem like it, but it's like they write it off like, we got bigger shit. Then Hela crushes Mjolnir, makes friends with Karl Urban, then Thor and Loki end up in Jeff Goldblum's living room. If we're being honest, that's what it is. So Karl Urban in this movie, you look at his armor, you can put him in a picture with all the humans in Warcraft. It wouldn't even look weird. Which I really liked Valkyrie. I thought Valkyrie was great. Asgardian, Hela took out all of her friends. She ended up living through it, but she was like, yep, screw that place. Lost everything. Let's just get drunk all the time. I really find it funny that Loki did not know who the grand champion was. Jeff Goldblum has his champion. Loki has come into his good graces, but he doesn't know who this champion is. But a lot of people in the audience know who he is because they all have big paper mache Hulk heads, signs, green smoke. I mean, the word's around. Loki doesn't find out until he sees him. When he does, he's like, I have to get off this planet. He remembers what it's like getting smashed around called puny god. When Thor was going to meet Jeff Goldblum, he's in this chair and he's getting the synopsis of what this place is, and it plays Willy Wonka music. Did I chuckle? Yes. Is it weird? Yeah. Why is it playing Willy Wonka music of all things? Why is this weird world in the middle of nowhere? Why did they choose a song from an obscure ass Earth movie to play during this synopsis? Why? It's just strange to me. I shouldn't think about it too much. I'm just saying, like, until now, the MCU movies, that would be a weird thing. It's like, no, this is Thor Ragnarok. It's not weird. This is a comedy. It's not like other MCU movies. So it just kind of tears my brain in half. I am glad we saw some Asgardian citizens. That was a new thing in here where, because Asgard, you look at it, it's not that big. Not only is it not that big, it's a flat Earth. So it's this tiny little flat Asgard, and I was always like, are they all gods? Are they all warriors? Nope, there are citizens. I'm glad we saw more of that. And I do like when you see all the you know, the Sistine Chapel paintings up on the ceiling. The history of Asgard. No, it's not. Hela's like, nope, boom, boom, boom. She takes those down. Underneath, there are other paintings. Which is funny that no one squealed on that. No one was ever like, that's fake. I know, because there's a lot of production that went into painting over that. But I do like finding out that the glossy, happy history is actually bullshit, and there's a dark history beneath it. Well, I like finding it out when it's fiction. Happens way too much in reality, sure. It reminded me of Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver 2, when you find out the Seraphan's history is not actually history. It's bullshit. I really liked Hulk. Hulk was like he was a big sad kid. He was a big sad strong kid, but still he was like a big kid. He's like, you're the dumb Avenger. That's what we call you. He's like walks, he's all. He's frustrated. I felt bad for him. I wanted to give Hulk a hug. I kind of want to give Banner a hug because Hulk killed people in that arena. Doug, we'll address Doug. Doug's dead. Obviously, this is the champion, which means Hulk has killed people. So when Hulk turns back into Banner, Banner's not like, did I kill people? Oh my gosh. I've had such a problem with the Hulk's violence taking over my world before. And if I've killed people, for 2 years I've been killing people. That should have been a thing. That should have been a moment. Never addressed at all. Korg was great though. He's he's the rock monster. And the fact that he stands out as a comedic element in a comedy, I think that speaks volumes for him. He was very well executed. I just loved him. I did not like his line at the end, though. At the end of the movie, Thor realizes, oh my gosh, we have to bring back Magma Horn Face, and Ragnarok's gotta happen. We gotta destroy Asgard because Hela's tied to Asgard. Asgard gets destroyed, Hela doesn't come back. So that's exactly what happens. This is Thor's home, the Asgardians' home. I know Odin gave his big speech about like Asgard is where its people are. I know that and I get that, but the fact is that is still Thor's home. So when you see it get destroyed, that should have been a big like, oh my gosh moment. But Korg cracks a joke, and not only did he crack a joke, he cracked a joke that I don't feel, I chuckled, but it didn't pay off as much as it should have. What I mean by that is when you see the fire go over the surface, he's like, the foundations are good. We can rebuild it. I was like, all right, then the place is gonna explode and he's gonna say nope, because that's a joke as old as jokes. And sure enough, that's exactly what happened. I did chuckle because it's a pretty big explosion. Then he's like, nope, no, those foundations are gone. Ultimately, it took something away. It took a dramatic moment away. So when you're gonna take a huge dramatic moment away like that, if you're gonna replace it with comedy, you have to make the comedy surpass what the drama could have been. And I just don't feel it did. So I feel the movie took something in that moment and did not give something comparable back. And I felt like that was a problem. It's a pretty big moment. I mean, really, the crew of the Enterprise is where its crew is. But when the Enterprise blew up in Star Trek 3, The Search for Spock, that was a big sad moment. Kirk's looking up like, what have I done? Which Thor also says in here, what you had to do, what you always do. Turn death into a fighting chance to live. Funny thing is, Heimdall can see everything, and a guy who sees everything has a whole crew of civilians, the Asgardian civilians, and they're going to the Bifrost, but he didn't see that there was a big dog guarding it. You would think Heimdall would be like, let me see if anything's that, yep, something's there. That's a problem. Good job, Heimdall. I'm pretty sure Bruce Banner's dead. I'm sure Bruce Banner's dead because Bruce Banner even addresses like I'm saying the next time the Hulk happens, I might be gone forever. Not only does the Hulk come back at the end, but the way he comes back, Banner's like, I'm gonna show you who I am, and he drops out of the ship. And you think the Hulk's gonna just land there, but nope, it's just Banner goes, ding, just splats. He just looks dead. He's like, argh. Even the dog's like, nope, he's dead. Walks over him, then he turns into the Hulk, and he starts smashing up the dog. But the context of all of that is like Bruce Banner physically died, and Bruce Banner said if the Hulk comes back, I'm going to be gone forever. So I'm pretty sure Bruce Banner's gone. That's what the movie is telling you anyway. All the information lines up where the movie's like, hey, the information I'm giving you, Banner is gone. So Bruce Banner's essentially dead, and I laughed. I laughed because Bruce Banner died. That's weird. I don't know, maybe he's not dead. Time will tell. I'm sure they're gonna bring him back somehow. I really laughed when he splatted on the bridge. It's funny. And Thor loses an eye, fights Hela. What I love is that his hammer's gone. It got smashed up by Hela immediately. But you've always seen up until now, Mjolnir has been Thor's main power. Even Odin in his vision when he's like, I've failed everybody, father. He's like, are you Thor, god of hammers? I was like, that's a damn good point. No, you're the god of thunder. Why don't you ever use thunder, really? You don't use it in application. You don't use it when you're fighting. So for the first time, he really uses a lot of thunder, and you're like, oh, this guy's broken. And I love that. I love all the thunder. Give me the thunder. Give me the lightning. That's what you're the god of. I hope we see more of that in Infinity War. I want Thanos to be like, okay, you're good. Underestimated this one. His brother was kind of a wimp. So now they're nomads. They have no world out there. So it's pretty much going to be like the Quarians in Mass Effect. They're going to lose their immune system. It's going to have to wear masks. Never gonna get there, but you know what I mean. But in their nomadic existence, there's a big ship that comes up on them in the post-credit scene, and then boom, it's done. Thanos' ship, that's the big theory online. There's probably the doors are gonna open up. It's gonna be the Guardians of the Galaxy. Hey guys, so did you know how to get to Albuquerque? Loki has an Infinity Stone. He has the Tesseract, because when he went down there and put Mr. Skull-Horn Tiara on the flame to bring him back, he looks at the Tesseract. He's like, yep, he has to have it. If not, it blew up with Asgard, which I'm sure it didn't blow up. It'd be spinning out there in space. More likely, Loki took it. I mean, if I'm the god of mischief and I knew my world was gonna blow up and the Tesseract was right there, I'd be like, yeah, I'm a good guy. I'm not an idiot. I only mention that because a lot of people got hung up on Fast 8 and Jason Statham's now a good guy. People were like, dude, he killed people. So now Loki's a good guy. It's like, dude, he killed people. A lot of people died in New York. Come on. You can call him an anti-hero, but he's still a good guy. Point is, guys, Thor Ragnarok was a lot of fun. Tonally speaking, went up and down with the drama and the comedy. I realized I dug into this movie in the nitpick zone a bit more than I usually do for my spoiler videos, a bit more than I plan to do for this. I just like talking about the things I notice in a movie. And for my spoiler talks, if they're spoiler related, these are the things I noticed. None of it compromises the movie. I really enjoy it. They're things. But now that I assume you have seen Thor Ragnarok, what did you think about it? Whatever you thought, comment below, let me know. And as always, if you like what you've seen here and you want to see more, click right here to see more.